Welcome to Forward Facing. I'm Andee Hastings.
I'm Mali Shadmary,
We are the founding partners of Hastings Shadmary Family Law,
an Atlanta-based law firm with a deep commitment to our clients, our community, and our team, whom we call the Wolf Pack.
We are lawyers,
We are also business owners,
partners,
bosses,
and best friends. Every day we work towards self-growth and mutual development.
Our 4 decades of combined experience gives us a distinct perspective on work, business, and how to navigate some of life's toughest situations.
We want to pass on what we have learned, introduce you to like-minded guests, and share our philosophies on staying positive and moving forward. Forward Facing is your inspiration to evolve.
Hello, and welcome to Forward Facing. I'm Mali Shadmary.
I'm Andee Hastings.
And today we have a special treat for you. To know him is to love him. We have John Rife, Esquire, on with us today. John is quite a force. He's a talent. He's a business owner, an attorney, a former judge. I met him, I guess, a few years ago in one of my cases, and multiple since that time. So we've worked together. And maybe we've had cases against each other, or at least our firms have. So he has become a mentor and a friend to the firm, a leader in the legal community. He has handled some of the most insane cases. He's stepped into my cases and helped make magic for families that were struggling. He has a lot of information to share. And especially information for those who may be in the middle of a divorce or a custody dispute and need a little direction. They need a little firm guidance. You're going to get it from John Rife. It's going to be firm, I'll tell you. So with that, let's dive in. Hi, John.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you. This segment will be called Tales from the Crypt. This is what happens when you get an old man in a podcast with two friends and colleagues.
Listen, he always keeps things lively. I can give him that. So John, tell us who you are, how you came to be in the legal field. Where did we start?
Okay, funny story. I've got a lot of stories because I'm old, but funny story about getting in the legal community. Ever since I was young, my mother had me set on being a doctor. I mean, from the time I can remember, right? I come from a very working class background. And so my mother's big dream was for me to go to college and then become a doctor, right? So I got to be about 21 and I came home from college and I was seeing a friend of mine at an ATM machine. Now, in those days, you could get $5 out, which is about all I had. But a friend of mine who also went to a different college was at the ATM machine too, and we started talking. And they had a ordinance in place at the time that young kids couldn't hang out somewhere. So the cops show up, right? And they're harassing me and my buddy. My mom is sitting in her truck. And my mom was 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide, right? So, and she had a temper like you wouldn't believe. I'm like I am because of childhood trauma.
Oh.
Thank you, Mom, wherever you are. And so what happened was she got arrested, right? She got arrested for disorderly conduct.
Oh.
Took her to jail, the whole shebang.
God.
So what they had to do was my dad had to bail her out, which took all of our grocery money. And then so we had to get her a lawyer, right? But we were broke. We were po. We couldn't even afford the OR. We were po.
Okay.
So my mom and dad had to basically pawn everything they owned to go hire a lawyer, right?
Oh, God, John.
So they go to court. The judge was a friend of the family, right? So the case gets dismissed. But that adventure changed the trajectory of my life because I was like, well, this is bullshit. You know? I said, people get this every day. I'm tired of this. I'm going to go practice law. Broke my mother's heart, right?
Oh.
Broke my mother's heart. So I get into law school because I'd already taken the MCATs to go to medical school.
Oh, my God.
I was already getting ready to go. And I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go practice law.
Wow.
So I get through law school, and I get out. My mother's mad all the way through, right? My father passed away early. But and this ring I'm wearing here is the last gift my mother gave me. It's my law school graduation ring.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And I wear it, if you've seen me, Mali, you and I have done a lot of work. Andee, you and I haven't yet.
Yeah.
I wear this to every court. So I was in court this morning, so I wear it
love
everywhere.
it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's 30-something years old.
That's powerful.
So she tells me, the first case I get when I get out of law school in this small town I lived in, and it had literally more cows than people. All right? So this was a place that your reputation really mattered.
Yep.
And this was way before social media. So in a county of about 10,000 people, what people thought of you and what your reputation was platinum. I get a, and this was before the days of sticky notes and computers too. We had typewriters back then. Yes, I'm old. I went in my first day. There's this big file on my desk, and it's got a handwritten note on it that says, "This is a double murder case. We're trying in 6 weeks. Get it ready." It's all set, right? So,
Oh my God, I wouldn't have been able to breathe.
Right, running the clock forward. We won the case. It was horrible.
You did.
I got sick every day.
Oh
I
my God, dude.
I should have quit, but we won that case. And
That's
then
insane.
when you become a big deal, you start to believe it, especially when you're a young lawyer, and you haven't had the bumps in the road yet.
Yep.
So along the way, I've been blessed to have had people mentor me, and just people that meant to and people that didn't.
Yep.
That taught me what I've learned today. And now, at my age, I think it's my turn to share what I've learned and let people like you all and your associates and other people in my community take it to the next level.
How did you get into family law? Walk us through that.
Where I practiced originally, like I said, was small town Arkansas, and you had to kill anything that would swim by.
Okay.
So most of what we did there was criminal work. Nobody had any money. And so you had to do everything just to keep the lights on. And you were taking payments on everything.
Okay.
I can't tell you how many, in the early days, how many car titles I had.
Wow.
I own 100 acres. I got cattle. I had all kinds of stuff.
That's wild.
Yeah, just to make ends meet. You would have to sell that stuff or whatever. I mean, I learned how to sell cows before I learned how to write a brief to the Arkansas Supreme Court.
That's crazy.
Because that's how you would sell cows to get your fees.
That's
right?
wild.
And it was weird. So
That's
you kind of did a little bit of
cool.
everything. And what I really excelled at was divorce and criminal. And so I became a prosecutor, which was part-time. So I couldn't do any criminal work, so all I could do was domestic.
Yep.
And you could do it in those days because we didn't have instant information. You had to go look in the books so you could pull it off, unlike you could do today. I believe now that specialties is imperative. It's imperative to be a specialist. You can't,
I
with
agree.
modern times, you can't do it all.
Agree.
Can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Just setting you up for disaster.
So I got involved with that. And then I got tired of the bitching and moaning of being a domestic lawyer. So I said, I'm just going to do criminal for a while. Well, I ended up trying 53 murder cases and about 200 others, trials,
Oh, my God.
which are horrible to do. I got involved with juvenile work, which is my God work.
Okay.
And then I got back into domestic because I was sending a lot of business out. And people were always like, hey, we want you to do this. I'm like, I don't want to do this crap.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, when I matured, and this is how it works for me, I had to mature myself back into domestic work.
Okay.
Because you can't use a criminal mindset to do domestic work.
Right.
It doesn't work.
Okay, so here's a kind of a broad question.
All right.
So you've seen family law from a long time ago when things were a lot different. You said you came back, you were emotionally matured back into it, or you matured back into the domestic work after seeing a lot of criminal work.
Juvenile helped me with that too.
You had some
Because
crossover with juvenile.
Yeah, because juvenile kind of merges you back in whether you want to go or not.
Why is that?
Because it is a ton of domestic issues.
So so you were exposed back into the issues through a different lens, and you think
Yeah.
that matured you.
Yeah, and it became important to do. I mean, yeah, if someone goes to prison, justice served. If someone gets off, nobody cares. But juvenile law is a little different because you can actually make a difference.
Okay.
Juvenile law is geared to reunite.
Okay.
People always hear the horror stories about juvenile law that, defects comes in, they take my kids, they do this, they do that. That's not the goal, and it's not what we do. What we do is we try to bring families back together.
Okay.
So after doing that, against my will initially for 15, 16 years, it became so ingrained in me. I said, well, this isn't that hard. Let's go back into domestic.
Okay.
And it was a lot easier and better for me to do when I had the experience of 15 years working with kids and seeing the effects of the adults' attitudes and behaviors on the kids. So it became easier for me to come back into at that point.
Do you still see today similar trends between litigants that you did way back in your first divorce cases? Are people still doing the same tactics?
Oh,
And
yeah.
What are they? What is the most common stuff from back then till now?
There's two things, and as part of what I do, I never do this. I don't use the word compassionate,
Okay.
and I don't use the word aggressive,
Okay.
because those connotate emotional issues that I can't help you with.
Love that.
Because we spend a lot of time in domestic law dealing with emotional issues. they come into me, and this is a Saturday phenomenon, and it's mostly men. They'll come in with their Platinum American Express card. They'll throw it on my desk, and they'll say, hey, I don't care what it costs.
Yep.
I want to gut her like a fish, right?
Yeah.
And I said, let's talk about two things. I represented Jerry Jones, right? The richest man in the country. He cared about what everything cost. Let me tell you, I got calls from him personally when I was a pub lawyer. And I said, second thing, I don't deal in blood. I deal in ink. I can't help you with that. So if you want to get a divorce, I can help you with that. But if you're looking for blood, I'm not your guy. Well, I heard this and I heard that, and I don't care. I'm not doing it. And that you got to, and that's where the aggressive part I don't do.
Okay.
Compassion, I'm sympathetic, but I'm not compassionate.
Yep.
Because compassion connotates that I'm going to go into the court for you and tell the judge your emotional story that he or she's not going to want to hear.
Yep.
And then you're going to be mad if I don't do it. So I front load my cases with all these expectations and get rid of all of I spend the first hour not like, my feeling is that when you have a consult with somebody, most lawyers treat it like a blind date.
Okay.
It's not. It's a teaching opportunity.
Totally. Yes, that's what I think too. I always say, today is about me sharing knowledge with you to help you navigate the future, which feels really unknown to you. Today, yes, we can make some decisions, but we don't have to. And we are here just to let me educate you and let me start to just be a resource for you.
Yeah, but here's the thing I think we miss a lot of times. There's a couple reasons we have to front load. And there's a concept, I believe, that we have to get warm with. That concept is a divorce is like a death.
It really is.
Except there's body is still walking around.
Exactly. Like I think that it's like a death, that it's like you chose to die. You are having to choose to do it and feel that pain, that which almost feels self-inflicted because you're choosing to move forward with it.
Right, but the person that's moving forward with it has already gone through the grief. And what I tell people, the difference between death and when I did probate work, which you did where I practiced in the original, I used to tell people as a matter of course, don't make any decisions for 6 months.
Yeah.
Because you're too emotional, you're too wrapped up, and it's a natural thing. Because if you think about it, here's the parallel between divorce and death. One is you're in a place you never thought you'd be.
Yeah.
Nobody gets married with the idea of, I'm going to get divorced someday.
Exactly.
And unlike the bargaining and all the other things, in the divorce, what you got is you got hurt and anger on the person.
Okay.
They may know it's coming,
Right.
and you guys have experienced this. You may know that divorce is coming, but until it gets there, it's not real.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So then you got hurt, anger, and fear,
Right.
because you're going to have to start your life over, just like you would if somebody died,
Totally.
right? So then, but the difference is now you got anger, and you got punishment. I call it stage 2 punishment. This is when you hear about the divorce being awful and miserable, and it was so expensive, and there's all this. That's where punishment comes in. And then you get to acceptance. This is going to happen anyway, or I'm out of money, or I can't do this anymore, and I want to finish it. So what I tell people in Forsyth County, there's 290,000 people, and I tell them, you got one judge that hears almost 100,000 people's problems. Do you honestly think that they're going to have the time or the desire to sit and listen to these issues that you have? The system itself is geared for settlement.
It is.
Especially
Absolutely.
the divorce system, because they make you go to mediation.
Right.
So we're talking about, you said, the clients need to be basically you need to talk to them about this from the very beginning. You're talking about at the consultation?
I call it front loading.
So what's the biggest piece of advice you can give regarding consultations, and what should they be looking out for? How should they prepare?
They should prepare to listen objectively if they can. But one of the big things, and I do videos, I know you guys do too, little minuets for the clients. And one of the things I tell them is emotions cost more than anything else. And if you have children,
That's so good.
and if you have children, they're paying. They don't get a say,
Truly.
but they're paying
For
because
the rest of their lives.
every dollar we spend throwing spears at each other is $1 less for college, is $1 less for braces, is $1 less for vacation.
Let alone the emotional costs. on
Right,
them.
and then they get put in the ping pong position in the middle. So I tell them that up front. I said, now look, you can have whatever knowledge you have of me. Are you aggressive? No, I'm experienced, and there's a difference. Aggressive is I do something stupidly because you want me to. Experience is I do something that's going to move you forward. And what I tell clients at the first thing, and this is very hard, and I do reinforce this along the way, don't think about what's going on now.
Yeah.
Think about what's happened 2 years from now.
I love
That's what I
that.
tell people.
Forward
What
facing.
happened 2 years now? Yeah, forward facing. You got.
Yeah.
And what I tell them is, there's a reason that the windshield's so big and the rear view mirror's so small.
Yep.
You're supposed to be looking forward all the time.
Love that.
You can look back and make sure nothing's coming,
Yeah.
but you look forward all the time, and you need to start looking forward now
Love that.
because this is coming,
That's so awesome.
right? So
Yes.
that's what you got to do.
So you're doing that with a client at the consultation, starting to get them in this like forward-facing mindset.
Yeah, and you're telling them, hey, look, this, we understand this emotional experience, but all we do is undo your marriage. We don't do anything else. We're not going to make you feel better. We're not going to help you along in that.
Yep.
I said, go see a therapist. You're going to
Yep.
get more out of it for a better price, and you're going to be
Absolutely.
able to make good decisions.
Yep.
And when I tell clients this, hey, there's no shame in this game because typically most of your good lawyers see therapists themselves, right? You
That's so right.
You can't see that much horror without getting some help. But I tell them up front, the court isn't going to care. You think you got a unique story, there'll be 10 other couples out there that want to tell the same story to the judge
Truly.
that's been listening to it for 20 years,
Yep.
doesn't have the time nor the energy nor the bandwidth to do that. So we've
Yep.
got to boil it down.
The judges expect us as the family law attorneys to remove the emotion from the situation.
Yeah, and if we haven't done that at the front end,
Yeah.
that's where clients get disappointed on the back end.
Oh, and honestly, that ship has gotten away from me before many a time.
Oh, yeah.
Where a client just doesn't care. And they are well advised, even down to this has all been in writing and spoken
Yep.
about and pushed, and the therapies in place. Still does not matter. I am going to fight over those salt and pepper shakers if my life depends on
Yep.
it. And there have been times where I'll withdraw from a case if I'm truly like, I cannot get behind this, even if they can pay. But I have taken them all the way through saying,
Yeah,
we shouldn't do this, but
Yeah.
okay.
But what you got to do on those too is you got to know your own personality. You got to be
For sure.
assessment of yourself. People
sure.
come to me if you want something sugar coated, go hire the Keebler elves.
Yep.
I ain't me. So I'll send them somewhere else. If you want a straight talk and I can get you through this,
That's
then I'm your
right.
guy. So I don't do it.
You
that
have to
way.
have clients that are going to be coachable and kind of fit sounds like your values a little bit and be able
Not
to
so much my values, but I want to maximize being able to help
them. That's right.
It's money. Yeah, we all want the money, right? We all charge about the same thing, so the money's the money. But as far as helping them, I want a person to go out and say, you know what, divorce was bad, but at least the lawyer told me up front this is what was going to happen, and by
Right.
God, this was happening.
What's your favorite type of family law case to handle outside of juvenile court, which we'll talk about?
Oh, adoptions. That's happy law.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So not contested adoptions.
I've done some. Because a lot of times you get into what's good for the kids. That's why I started doing guardian work. The courts trust you enough to advocate. What do you think? You've had enough life experience now is going to be good for this family.
So you as a guardian.
Yeah, that's probably the best work I do.
And for our people that don't remember or don't know, what is a guardian ad litem?
Guardian ad litem is a person appointed by the court. Sometimes they're lawyers, sometimes they're not. But by and large, for domestic cases, they're lawyers.
Yep.
That the court wants to investigate. You're basically the eyes and ears of the court. But it gives us the opportunity to help people that, as advocates, we can't help as much as a guardian could come in. You guys may be telling somebody something for 6 months. This is what's going to happen, folks. And they're like, in one ear and out the other.
I want to take a risk in front of the judge.
Right, and I mediate too. So a mediator and a guardian comes in and says, this is what's going to happen. They say, oh, where do I sign?
Yeah.
Drives you crazy. If you're going to do guardian work, you should do guardian work for the right reasons.
Yes.
You don't do it for the money. First of all, the money sucks. But second
Yeah,
of all,
you don't get paid the same.
You don't get paid the same. But you do it because you want to help.
Because the court sets how much a guardian gets paid, right?
Yeah, some allow you to negotiate.
Okay.
To me, as a practitioner, it matters. You have a duty to the profession, and you have a duty to give back something that poor white kid got for the last 3 decades, 3+.
Yep.
And you have a responsibility to give something back. And so that in juvenile work is truly my God work. 7 points, as we call them, because God knows I need them.
How is guardian work different in juvenile court cases versus a superior court domestic case?
Not much. We do a lot more of gluing back together rather than gluing apart, right? We're closing wounds.
In juvenile?
No, in superior, we're closing wounds.
Okay.
In juvenile, we're reattaching limbs.
I see.
We're reattaching hands.
What does that mean?
We're reattaching hands. We're reattaching children's hands to their parents.
They got taken away from their parents.
And we're trying to put them back. We're trying to make them hold hands again.
And then in the divorce setting, it's
closing wounds.
Let's get you into a new chapter that's going to help you heal
Yeah,
everybody.
you don't have to like each other. you do have to parent together.
Yeah.
But that's the key to it. It doesn't really matter whether it's juvenile or superior. The mechanics are the same and the desire is the same. And the desire is to make families go forward that weren't able to do it before they waltzed in. It's not just about getting you divorced when you're a guardian.
Yes.
What do you do when you're a guardian and you've got one side that's misbehaving and the other side is trying to follow all the rules? Because you know how it is, both as being the attorney representing them as well as the guardian who's trying to sort through everything. Because you know how you have the person who's doing everything they're supposed to and they feel like the other side is getting rewarded. How do you navigate that?
I until a few years ago, I used to just call up the lawyer and say, cut the shit.
Right.
Love that.
I mean, just like that, cut the shit.
Yep.
You're not doing anything but screwing this case up. So if the lawyers don't work together well, they won't work with me well, right? Mm-hmm. So the way I combat that is I'll file contempt. And I'll waltz in there and I'll say, Judge, not the client, the mother's doing this and her attorney sanctioning it. I'll throw them so far into the bus that, and I want to back the bus up to run over them again. Because a lot of times the judge will look down, when you have a guy or any professional that's a guardian, and they go in and say the lawyer's being a jerk, most judges catch that sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when a guardian goes in and says mother's misbehaving and the lawyer's not doing anything about it, mm-hmm. you find that the road tends to smooth, mm-hmm. and then mediation. What some judges will do at that point, when they see it leveling off, they'll send them back to mediation. Yep. And mediation will be fruitful at that point.
Yeah.
So you are a referee a lot of times. I try not to be. And I'm extremely mindful of the dollars, because every dollar they spend on me is a dollar less for those kids that I'm representing. Think of your kids. You can hate each other. It's fine. That doesn't mean you can't co-parent. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. Drop the spears. Just drop them. Your kids are the innocent victims in this. They're paying all the bills, and they're not having a say in anything.
Do you find, though, that it's, because we tell people the same things.
Yeah.
And our general attitude is, I can't work harder on your problems than you do.
I can't care
more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a long time to learn, and then even longer to put into practice. But the thing that I keep thinking of, and I know I keep harping on this, is you have a party who is doing that. They're really putting their kids first, and they're making the decisions that put them first, and it's not out of some misplaced, at this point, hatred for their ex or soon-to-be ex or whatever. And then you've got another side that's not doing that. How do you navigate that? Because you don't want to punish people and end up punishing the children. But, if you've got two people who are really in very different emotional places, which we deal with that all the time. From the perspective of a guardian, how do you look at that?
Not much differently than I look at it as a lawyer. I tell those people, because I get a chance to talk with the litigants themselves.
Right.
I tell them the same thing I tell them as a lawyer. Don't look for now. Look for 2 years from now. Where do you want your kids to be? When you guys are like this, what would you like your kids to be doing 2 years from now? If I were you, I'd spend my time thinking about what I'm going to do with my kids for the next 2 years, rather than how much I'm going to punish Dad and be a jerk in the litigation because I'm hurt.
So on this notion of being punitive and inflicting punishment and vindication in a divorce and things like that, explain, do you have a philosophy or an understanding around, do the laws even account so much for that vindication feel, the punitive nature that people really want? What does the law actually say? How does it usually play out?
Well, the first question you got to ask yourself is, how could the law possibly determine how much vindication is appropriate?
Right. Such a
Every
good point.
Relationship is different.
There's no formula to it.
There's no formula. There's no, the people are different. The relationship's different. There is some toxic people that do it time and time again.
Yeah.
But so the law doesn't prescribe that. The best thing the law can do is to get you unmarried and put you on a course. But I think what you need to do is you need to just be honest with them and say, look, this is going to end how it's going to end. If you think you're going to get 100% of whatever, nobody does.
Exactly.
When I was a judge, one of the things that I learned early was that if you make everybody mad, you did a good job. So, sometimes, whether you're a judge or you're a mediator or you're even an arbitrator, you've got to listen to some of that to understand the perspective people are coming from, so you know how to help them move past the stage 2 of my death scenario.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to wait that out.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on what your vibe is on those people. Do they take to, well, you got to wait on them, or do they take to, hey, you're being stupid now, quit doing this?
Right.
The reality check, what I call the cold water.
I think that's why this whole notion of being forward-facing,
Mm-hmm.
and our whole namesake on here, all these things, is so meaningful to us, and how we have structured our culture at Hastings Shadmary, how we want our people to be and feel, and let's all be moving to a greater purpose together because we want to, because we believe in what we're doing. Let's keep pushing for a shared vision together here, and same thing for our clients. It is so, the worst kinds of cases and clients to me that are just soul-shattering, not healthy for me to handle, are the ones that are just going to dwell, and it's the same
Yes.
conversation every single day. And the whole purpose of the case is the things that they want me to perform. While I can do that, and I can give you that literal, the drama that you are looking for to get this moment in the courtroom of satisfaction, I can do all of that. But again, at the end of the day, for what? You're not going to get more money out of it. But when you get to a certain level, and you've dealt with it for a long time, I think it really is meaningful to get to work with the clients that want to move forward. It's draining. The other ones are draining.
Yeah, and there's just some
And I'm not going to
clients-
perform my best for people like that.
No, and there's just some clients that are going to just take more time.
Yeah.
But you got to get them there. You got to keep walking. You know,
That's
like,
true,
it's like
yes.
I tell young lawyers, if you put a plant in a pot this big, it will grow to that pot and no more.
Yeah.
So you've got to get out of that pot. You've got to constantly be, as a lawyer, you've got to constantly be growing your pot
Yeah.
so you can grow as a lawyer, because
Yeah.
you can't, if anybody thinks we don't take this home with us, even now, 35 years later, you do. And so if you can't grow as a person, you can't be expected to command the maturity level and confidence that people have beyond your legal skill
Yeah.
to help them along the way. All they, because all you can do when you walk in that courtroom is the legal skill.
That's right.
What you do before you get in is what's really important. While you're
Yeah.
front loading those people up, they know what to expect. They know what not to do. They know where the outcome potentially is and what the worst
so good.
scenarios are.
Yes.
I spend a lot of time on worst case scenarios.
For sure.
If the wheels fall, and I tell them the same thing.
Yeah.
If the wheels fall off the wagon, here's where the wagon lands.
Yes.
You know?
It's so comforting.
Yeah, I mean that
Yes.
way it's like walking into a doctor and him saying, "Well, you got a bad heart." And I said, "Okay, so what's going to happen?" "Well, I think you're really a good-looking guy, and I really am sympathetic in the fact that you're 50 pounds overweight." But I said, "Okay, wonderful. What's going to happen to me?" "Well, they don't want to tell me I'm going to die in 6 months."
Yeah.
But that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And for me, I try to sit on the other side of the desk. For me, I want to know.
Right.
Then I say, "Look, I need the best version of you."
Yeah.
I tell them about the grief and everything. I tell them that to jump. I need the best version of you, right? I need you running on 8 cylinders because you have to make these decisions. I can't make them for you. They're your kids. This was your marriage. I can't make them for you. Don't ask me to, because I make terrible decisions on that. All I can do is run the mechanism. That's it. You have to make the decision. So I need the best version of you as you can come up with. So I need you to go ahead and let yourself grieve. Let yourself be sad. Let yourself be angry. But quit it when we walk in. When you walk in here for a mediation or you walk in here for something else, you have to process those. And if you need help doing it, there's no shame in that game. But if you don't, you need to be at your 8 cylinders, because you got to make decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life and potentially the rest of your kid's life. And you don't make a good decision mad or angry or sad. You don't make good decisions that way.
It makes it real. Everything that you're saying just brings up this idea of how important it is that people choose responsible attorneys to guide them through this chapter. They are setting the tone for what we are creating for your next future.
Yeah, because if you're the aggressive attorney, they're going to want you to go in there and burn the earth down, and you're not getting anywhere. If you're the marshmallow, then they're expecting you to hug them and tell them that every feeling they have is correct, and we ought to nurture those feelings and do what I call the psychology end of it, which I don't use. But I said, yeah, I'm sympathetic. 'Cause
Right.
I have had I've been through a divorce. I
Yeah.
know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I tell them that too. I said, I've
Yeah.
been through one of these.
Yeah.
There's no pill
Right.
that you can take.
Yeah.
But what you can do is help manage them up front. So your subsequent conversations isn't like, well, you never told me that we were going to have a temporary hearing, and I wasn't going to be able to tell him how he cheated on me for the last 10 years.
Yep.
And you put up with it. You want me to go in there with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about the mediation process? What are your thoughts, advice on that for anybody?
I used to think it was stupid.
Really?
I did. I got back in there because I'm a litigator, right? I
Yes.
get back into divorce, and mediation was a relatively new thing.
Oh,
Right.
Back in the old days, we just roll in there and have a temporary hearing.
That's amazing.
And the judge
I
would
would've loved
set
it.
the tone, right?
Right.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Then you get this mediation piece, and you're like, okay, so I'm going to have a third person sit there and tell me, all this, what the judge is going to do. But in the early days, a lot of the mediators were not lawyers.
Okay.
And so you got people telling us what was going to happen in court that never stepped into court.
Okay.
Now you've got lawyers, a lot of lawyers doing it.
Okay.
And if they're practitioners and they actually go into court, they can tell you what the here and now is.
Right.
What I found out was being a mediator has made me a better lawyer because it helps me think outside the box with my clients and say, should we try this? Should we do that? And if you tell your clients at the jump that these cases are geared for settlement, then they understand the need for mediation. And you don't have to settle everything in mediation. You can settle some stuff. And that cuts down the amount of time it takes for trial, which means you get to trial faster. Because if a judge has a 5-day calendar, he can have 1 5-day case, or he can have 5 1-day cases. What do you think he's going to do?
Exactly.
5 1-day cases, so you get in there quicker. And a lot of people like that because there reaches a divorce fatigue factor. And you all know this. I mean, for us too, cases that we have just drag on forever. But for the clients who are bleeding out of all pores with the cost, first thing I tell them also, set yourself a realistic budget because then that gives you how much fight you got.
Yep.
Maximize that money to get where you want to be.
So what if somebody's got trial on the horizon, you're prepping your client, what's your best advice generally for people going into trial? They're scared, they don't know what to expect. What would you tell them?
They can't kill you and they can't eat you. That's the first thing I tell them, kind of lighten it up.
Yeah.
But the truth is the truth every time you tell it.
Yep. If you've told me everything, you're going to be fine because we've strategized around it.
And I tell them this, I like to be surprised at my birthday and Christmas.
Yeah.
I can't stand it to be in court. I don't like to be surprised.
Oh, it's happened
in
to
court.
me.
Oh, yeah, I stood there and your feet.
You were with me when it happened to me one time.
And your feet feel like concrete that you can't lift them. And you're standing there and the judge is looking at you and you're like, I think I need a potty break, Judge. Because I need to go gather here because I'm so pissed off and I don't know what to do.
Oh, it's the worst feeling.
Yeah, because you got all these things spinning your head. I'm going to go back to that table. I'm going to smack the hell out of that person.
Yes. But what we were saying is like, client, if you're going to trial, we won't have moments like that of that huge surprise as long as I know everything.
No.
We will have planned around it.
You've watched too much TV. Perry Mason's dead.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so that's your advice going in.
Absolutely.
Just be yourself,
yeah, just
be honest.
Truth is truth every time you tell it.
This just brought into my mind one of our core values here at Hastings Shadmary is chess, not checkers. We want to approach every case being 3 steps in advance, looking 2 years down the road, not just where we're at today. I mean, it goes to the core of who we are. It sounds like you are similar. I think that's why we love working with you so much, and we're just so thankful for your expertise and for getting to change people's lives with you and how we work together in our cases. And let me tell you, John, how he delivers here is exactly how he delivers in court. I mean, he's just what you see is what you get.
But here's the thing. I learned as much from you guys as you learned from me. That's the way it's supposed to work.
That's so true.
You never know. They call it practice for a reason because you never master it. It's practice all the way through.
Yeah, I love that.
You never master it. So I like working with younger lawyers. I do because I learn a lot from them. New ways of doing things, different thought processes, concepts that, because you can get into a rut when you're at the elder bar thing with all the other 55 plus ding dongs that are walking around, shuffleboard at 4, prune juice at 5. You don't get what's going on in modern practice. Like when I walk through here, at how you guys do things and how you've got dog friendly or kid friendly doors in every place, and where I came from, that you didn't have it, and it's a nice thing to see the evolution of the practice and stay fresh.
Oh, that is.
I can't help people
so
if
cool.
I don't meet them where they're at.
Right.
And that's the core thing about being a lawyer. You've got to meet people where they're at, not where you're at.
Yes.
And if you can't do that, is the most forward-facing thing you can do.
Yep.
Is that you meet people where they're at.
I love it.
Their normal is not your normal.
Yeah.
If you can't accept that, do something else.
Yes. That's
Couldn't agree more.
Oh my God, I was like just sitting there like, I think you're just part of our club because you're speaking out to the world, the things that we talk about here every day and what's so meaningful to us.
And that's where we share information amongst each other and grow as competitors and as colleagues. So we got a rare thing that we do. We're competitors and we're colleagues.
So,
but let me tell you one thing before you close me out, and this is real important for young lawyers to know. Whether you win or lose a case, always invite your opponent out for lunch.
Love that.
Put it at the door. You will find those relationships will yield your clients better results over time because you guys know as well as anybody, if you can get along with another lawyer, you're going to save your clients money, you're going to save them heartache, and it's not about you. You're going to get the client where they need to be quicker and cheaper and better than if you're fighting tooth and nail with somebody because you're spending all your time doing that, right?
Yeah.
Rather than doing, but always, and this was told to me by a judge the second week I practiced law. He says, always ask they may not go, but you've done the right thing.
Yeah.
Because then you go out to lunch and you realize that your people, it's just a case.
Yeah.
Anything that happened in the courtroom stayed there. That way you can work together for the betterment of your clients going forward.
I love that.
You're not always going to agree. But at least you kind of know each other and you're like, yeah, well, they'll be all right. I'll call them up later and apologize for being an asshole in court to them.
Yep.
Which, I've had
Such
to,
great
I've
advice.
had to do.
Not today.
Yeah, not today.
Yeah, man, you are just something else. I could sit here all day and just ask you war stories, and also he's quite a personality. He will mess with you. He's very fun. So, yeah, we're going to close things out by just going through our last little segment where we talk about, between the three of us, what are some ways as individuals, professionals, whatever we feel that we've evolved, we've been forward-facing as people in the past couple weeks. Andee, where are you at?
So I would say that the thing that I've been really focused on is this whole idea of I have a tendency, going to something that John said, we receive a lot of information, emotions from the people that we work with, that we help, that we're trying to help, from opposing parties. And it's sometimes what I tend to do is I am able to articulate for other people a lot more effectively than I am for myself. And so, but in being able to articulate for myself, that makes me better in articulating for other people. And I know it sounds probably silly and a little bit obvious, but I let that go at times and I just focus on other people and taking care of them. And I don't focus on that same thing, with myself. And so I've just become aware of it and I'm just working on it, work in progress.
Love that. Love that.
How about you?
For me, mine's very mindset-based and rather than habit-based. A lot of times I'll be thinking about fitness-related things, and this is just definitely more my mindset, and that is when I am facing new challenges, whether that's in my career, in my fitness, in my whatever, spirituality, whatever it is, my relationships, when I am facing new frontiers, it can be very easy because as business owners, entrepreneurs, and lawyers, we are trained to identify risks. And as human beings, our brains are constantly scanning for risks. So I get that. But when you're reaching new frontiers and you want to in your life in different areas, you have to be able to assess the risk, but also your ability to bring a positive mindset, a winner's mentality to the table, that just becomes even more important as well. But I am finding myself having to exercise that muscle of the mental, the confidence, the positive, there's these risks, but what is the beauty that can come out of it too? And also, what are you going to do when those risks come up and hit you in your face? What's the plan around it? And start to use my ability to play chess, not checkers in my mind, get my elasticity, whatever you want to call it, more strengthened around the positive and understand the risks when I'm rising to new heights, but also get excited about the positive that can come out of it and visualize and really manifest how to get the most positive results for the things that I'm doing, which can feel a little scary. So yeah, that's mine.
I love that.
It's always a constant work, for sure. You think you get to a new level, but then you get a whole new set of opportunities, and I'm finding that I have to continue to adapt my mental strength at each level. So it's very interesting, the human experience. What about you, John?
Well, mine's obviously not physical fitness. Allie, thanks for that. For me, I think it's don't believe your own press. Never forget where you came from. To thine own self be true, as the old saying goes. When you get into this business, you have the ability to help people, and you do. And they'll tell you how great you are and how wonderful you are and how smart and everything else. They don't tell me I'm fit, but they do tell me I'm smart. Don't take that in. Don't take in the bad either.
Yeah.
You're a skunk, you're a rat, you're an attorney, you're this, that, and the other. Yep. Just be true to yourself. Don't forget where you came from and look where you're going. And as you get older, looking where you're going, as that road shortens naturally in your life, you kind of look more towards that road, and you want that road to be a lot smoother than the bumpy, hilly road you came from. And the only way that you can do that is you got to be true to yourself, and don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to the noise.
I love that too.
That's such great advice, John. Thank you so much for everything, for sharing your wisdom and your stories and your attitude with us.
It's been my great honor. It really has. I respect both of you a great deal. You guys run a great operation here.
Thank you.
If I was 40 years younger, I'd throw in, put on a wig, and be part of the wolf pack. But only on the weekends with the wig. I'd have to go to court during.
You would fit right in. Tell everybody where they can find you, your businesses. Where can they find John?
John's stupid. He has a law practice on Perkle Ferry Road in Cumming, Georgia. That's my day job. I own Cumming Cigar Company, which is right next door to the courthouse. On Main Street, it is an old Sinclair building. And that's why you shouldn't drink, boys and girls, because you'll buy cigar shops one night while people are talking about closing them.
It is beautiful. You have to go see it.
We didn't even get to talk about that yet.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But come on down. Therapy is free down there. Me and Jack and Jim Beam will help you with that. We do a lot of mediations now, and arbitrations and guardian work. And if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I'm a totally different animal when I'm actually doing it. Thank you all for the opportunity. It's been great spending time with you guys. It really has.
Thank you, truly.
So. Thank you. It was enlightening and refreshing, and we're better for getting to work with you.
This is where I don't believe on.
This part you need to believe.
Listen, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm the last person. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Please like and follow us everywhere. You can find us at Hastings Shadmary and Forward Facing. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, subscribe, and share. We would love to hear your thoughts. Leave us a comment or email us at podcast@hsfamilylaw.com. And be sure to come find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and at our website, forwardfacing.com.
Forward Facing is a production of Hastings Shadmary Family Law and 1066 Productions. It is produced and edited by Ned Hastings.